Well, that takes care of the small fry conferences. There was also a PC exclusive conference, but I didn't watch that because it was like,
There was?
yeah, for like, I don't think they announced anything really during that. And it started like immediately. It started while Ubisoft was still going on because Ubisoft went over time because for some reason they wanted to go 2 hours instead of 1 hour 30 minutes like everybody else. But nonetheless, I guess it's time to start talking about Microsoft's conference.
Woo! Yeah.
So, Microsoft announced Gears of War 4. Then, for some reason, I think they started out with the announcement of Xbox One S. I just wrote it down on my list after Gears of War 4. The Xbox One S is going to be $299 when it launches later this year. That's a big thing. Then they announced General Ram DLC for Killer Instinct. Then they went to Forza Horizon 3. Then they showed off ReCore, which they showed off last year as well. Then they showed off Final Fantasy 15. Then they briefly did stuff about the Division expansion and Battlefield. They aired the same Battlefield trailer that aired with EA's conference, basically.
Pretty much.
Then they announced updates to Xbox Live, like group features, and like an arena thing for tournaments. They covered Minecraft, which is obvious because they own it now. They covered Inside, which is the from the same studio of Limbo, and that's coming out later this year. They had their ID at Xbox stuff for independent games. The only noteworthy ones they showed off in their little montage of the games was that game Cuphead, and they briefly showed some Yooka-Laylee. Then they showed off We Happy Few, which is an interesting game to say the least. Then they announced a new game based off of a side thing, completely side thing that I don't think is noticeable to many, from The Witcher 3, which is a new card game called Gwent. Then they went and covered
cards.
Then they covered Tekken 7. Then they did Dead Rising 4. They showed off Scalebound again. We got more stuff about Sea of Thieves, the new Rare game. Rare, what happened to you? Although Sea of Thieves looks interesting, but Rare, what happened to you? State of Decay 2. Halo Wars 2. I wrote this down way at the bottom of this list here, but most of these games that they did announce are part of their new thing called Xbox Play Anywhere, which you can play it on Xbox One or Xbox One S, most likely, or Windows 10 PCs, which is pretty cool. You only have to buy the game once, by the way, and you can transfer your save data between the two. And then they ended it off with a teaser for next E3, essentially, where they announced their next console, they specifically said a part of the Xbox One family, and they're going with the codename Project Scorpio. It's apparently going to be 32 gigaflops, 4K resolution, and all that stuff. So, hearing about what is this gen going to be? The 9th gen with Scorpio, the NX, and whatever's next for PlayStation, probably 5. Play Anywhere was cool. Sea of Thieves, I was actually a bit surprised of. Last year, I wasn't impressed with it, but this year I was. Scalebound is pretty cool. Inside, I'm looking forward to that game because I loved Limbo. Final Fantasy 15 looked pretty good. ReCore looked good. And Xbox One S for $300 is pretty cool. So, what did you guys think of Microsoft's Xbox's conference this year?
Well, I thought.
Boo! He didn't solve a new Banjo-Kazooie game.
but anyway, like I said about the Xbox console, I thought it was pretty good, better than EA's, and better than Ubisoft's. With Bethesda, like compared to Bethesda, I think it did okay against it and stuff. I mean, Bethesda did really good too, so I mean both did pretty good as well. Sony did pretty good as well. And in my opinion about Microsoft consoles is that with the Xbox One S, I mean, nice for having upgraded, like having better, slimmer and better quality stuff, which which isn't nice. But the thing that just kind of disappoints me about that, I got my Xbox One last year for $350, and then they just announced that the new Xbox One S is $300, which I like. Are you kidding me? I could have just waited like a year or so to get this, but I mean, it's kind of too late now. What else? Like I like the crossplay between the Xbox One and Windows 10. I think that's good. That's a good idea. I think that's a really good idea and cool idea that they did that instead of just making Xbox One exclusive. They allow Windows 10 users to play those games, like most of the coming games, like Gears of War 4 was one of the games, as well as like the Forza Horizon 3. Was Forza Horizon 3 part of the crossplay?
Yes,
Okay,
I believe so. I believe all but like 3 games they announced.
Yeah, I knew
crossplay.
most of them were crossplay, so yeah. I actually played Forza Horizon 2, which is a alright game. But I mean, I'm not a big fan of racing games really besides Mario Kart that much, but I mean, it's still a pretty fun game because it's like open world racing game and stuff. I mean, I'm not gonna get it, but yeah, nice for I guess people. Nice for Windows 10 users, which they can play, Xbox One games now. At least the upcoming Xbox One games. And stuff like that. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for that. I'm kind of excited for that to see what games in the future. And a little bit of Gears of War 4. I haven't really played any other Gears of War games, but I mean, the big thing. Kind of excited that Windows 10 and Xbox One can do crossplay, including on like playing online together crossplay. Like,
yes, that's. I think that they announced that during their. They announced it during the Xbox Live update stuff that they did.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. That's really cool though. I mean that's better than just playing games together crossplay. You actually can play online even together, which is nice because the games nowadays on Xbox One and PlayStation are like online games. Well, a good portion of them are. So yeah, just the main thing I'm kind of excited is just how they have the crossplay and stuff.
So the Xbox Play Anywhere program, is that what the thing's called?
Yeah, they're just calling it Play Anywhere. They're not really calling it a program. It's just Play Anywhere according to them.
Like, how exactly does that work? That's what confused me when I saw it. Do you need an Xbox One to be able to play those games on your Windows 10 computer?
I don't think you do.
No,
I know.
you do.
I don't think. I think you don't have to. I don't think you need Xbox One. I think you just need Xbox One or Windows 10 to play the game. But I know they said that if you bought like the Windows 10 version or the Xbox One version, you can play it on both of them. You can just get one copy instead of just buying one for the Windows and then buying one for Xbox One. You just buy one game instead of just buying 2.
Yeah, they didn't specifically say it, but you can just buy it on Windows 10 if you want, but they pretty much the drive of what they announced was if you have an Xbox One and a Windows 10 PC, you just buy it once and then you can just share them between them, but I assume you can just do a Windows 10 purchase and then play it there, and if you eventually get an Xbox One, then you can do the cross-play that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so the thing is, Sea of Thieves and Scalebound, they look really cool, but they're like the only Xbox One games that I'm interested in.
Okay.
So if the Play Anywhere it makes it so that I can play games on my Windows 10 without getting an Xbox One, that would be really cool because I am interested in Sea of Thieves and Scalebound, but I have zero interest in Xbox One.
That would be especially cool if I get one of the Xbox One versions of those games and you have the Windows 10 version. That means you and me can play together. And then
that would be really cool.
That would be if that's true. Yeah.
That's what they. That was kind of their whole thing.
I know they said that. I meant saying that he can get like the Windows 10 and not.
No, but what you were saying, how you can crossplay even on different platforms. That was like their second point with announcing Play Anywhere.
What I'd love is that maybe they'll do this. Maybe they'll do this for the next couple of years. But I'd love if they take it a step further and make it so that like any console would be compatible with this. So that like if I'm playing something on the Wii U, then I could play against somebody on an Xbox One or something like that.
I mean, the thing is, a lot of the Xbox games are not on the Wii U. So I mean. And the NX is coming out soon, so they might be able to do something with the NX. Who knows with that?
Yeah, well, I'm just meaning that make it so that any video game console, like any current gen console, could play online with another console.
Funnily enough, when they first started talking about Play Anywhere and crossplay, I was like, and they were like, you can play on any device, because you can do it like tablet and smartphone. So when they started saying that, I was like, wait, are they really announcing like between different rival consoles too? But no, they disappointed me and announced it was only Windows 10 and smartphones and tablets.
I forgot they said it was also for smartphones and tablets. I forgot about that. I forgot they said that. I'm also excited for like the Final Fantasy 15 VR, which they said.
Conference, you're getting ahead of yourself, mister.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, my bad. I don't know why I thought
Final Fantasy 15's VR is PlayStation exclusive.
Sorry.
I guess we should just move on to PlayStation then, right?
Player.
Oh, I guess. Maybe Halo Wars 2. I don't know. Not that excited for it.
Yeah, you just said you were excited for it!
Yeah, I just said I was not that. I mean, I'm a little bit.
You said I'm really interested and I'm excited for Final Fantasy 15 VR.
I didn't say. I just said Halo Wars 2, not Final Fantasy 15.
You did say Final Fantasy 15.
I'm so confused.
Before I said Halo Wars 2 just a minute ago, I did talk about Final Fantasy 15. Then I went on to Halo Wars 2.
I only heard you talk about Final Fantasy 15 VR.
You probably would still continue laughing then and won't pay attention to what I was saying.
No, I heard Later Gator to you talking, and then I heard you. It was probably while Later Gator to you was talking, because he's speaking louder to you, at least in my earphones right now, so.
Okay.
We're speaking very loudly.
Thank you, I'm gonna have fun editing that, might rip my eardrums. Anyway, PlayStation's conference, Sony PlayStation, so they began with God of War. Now, it's not officially a sequel or anything that, like, with a number, like 4, 3, or whatever, because I don't know how far they are in that series.
Yeah,
it seems like it's kind of a reboot, almost, because
yeah.
I think this is the first time they've shown the main character with his son, and, like, he's teaching him how to hunt and everything, so I guess they're trying to reboot the series somehow in a way. Then they showed off Days Gone, which is a zombie game, I believe. The title implies it that way anyway. Then we finally, after development hell for like 10 years, The Last Guardian is finally coming out this year, which is exciting. Then they went to Horizon Zero Dawn. Then
that game looks pretty interesting, actually.
Yes, and I'm very concerned with the yelling I just heard from Later Gator to you.
Oh God. Do you have to go to sleep?
Just wait till we start talking about Breath of the Wild.
oh God. Then, kind of a sleeper hit, at least from what I've seen from E3, is the game Detroit Become Human, they announced, which was kind of like a new Consequence game, all of Telltale's, well, most Telltale series games. Then we had Resident Evil 7 announced, plus VR, which led to the PlayStation VR announcement, and it's going to be available for $400. Then we got a look at a lot of VR games, including Farpoint. Then we had Star Wars Battlefront VR. Then we had Batman Arkham VR. Then Final Fantasy 15 VR with a pretty hilarious trailer, actually. Then they moved on to Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which is based off in space for some reason. Then we had
that no one wants.
that no one wants. Yes, kind of. It might end up being more of a black sheep of the series than Call of Duty goes, but we'll get. Anyway, Call of Duty Modern Warfare is getting remastered, and then they continued the remastered announcements with tugging at everybody's heartstrings, because they had the music, they had the background, they had the shadow. Crash Bandicoot getting remastered. 1, 2, and 3 are getting remastered. But first, in October this year, we will see the very true rumor of Crash Bandicoot appearing in Skylanders Imaginators. Oh boy. But then then they announced some Lego Star Wars stuff, and then they followed it up with two actually not really surprised. I think this one was a surprise, but Hideo Kojima Productions. The first game, starring Norman Reedus, like everybody expected from The Walking Dead and other stuff. Death Stranding, a pretty interesting title, and from what they showed of it, it looks a little bit weird and out there, but that's to be expected with Kojima. And then, surprise, Spider-Man PS4. Hello, where did that come from? So, what did you guys think of PlayStation's E3 conference?
Well, I thought it was pretty good with the Gears of War reboot. I guess
God of War.
God of War, not Gears of War. Sorry, I keep getting those titles messed up all the time. Oh, I always get
exactly the same, but totally different.
Say God of War because I guess because they both start with G. So I mean, sometimes I say Gears of War, sometimes I say God of War. I don't get those two messed up when talking about either of those games. But I mean, God of War, I guess looks like a reboot. At least to me, it looks like a reboot. Because I heard some people say it like they call it God of War 4, but actually in the title it says God of War. Not really, not. And kind of to me, it kind of looks like a reboot and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really played any of the God of War games, so I wouldn't know that much about it. Besides that, to me, it looks like a reboot. Just part of the reason it looks like a reboot because the character design of the main character looks a little different than the other God of War games. So that's why I think it's a reboot more than like a fourth game in the series, or the same series of the same God of War, I guess. So I think that's more of a reboot, at least in my eyes. It looks like a reboot. As well as the PlayStation VR side for that and stuff like that. And that Detroit Detroit game kind of looks a little interesting and stuff. I like how there's like different choices you can pick, and depending what happens, something, I guess you can go back and forth. And you had to choose which choice and whatever. When you choose, different consequences happen. And that looks like a little interesting game. Well, the Crash Bandicoot remakes of the first three games look interesting. I mean, we didn't really show any gameplay, but the announcement, I'm kind of excited for. Compared to the weird Skylanders port. Crash and Skylanders was kind of disappointing because, seriously, I don't really know anyone who really plays Skylanders besides, maybe little kids or whatever, really. So, what else? And also the game Death Stranding, that looks weird and bizarre, and I don't get it. I don't get it why people are excited about that game. It just looks so weird. Don't know that much about it. Plus, if you don't know that much about it, I don't get why you're so excited for that game. But I mean, I guess part of it's just because I guess Kojima. Yeah, Kojima. Yeah, I think that's probably the reason why people are excited, because it's developed by Kojima and it stars Nolan Reedus. And I think that's why everyone's excited for it, but we don't know that much about. I'm not really that excited just because we don't know that much about it, and it just looks weird.
Before you continue or finish up, in its defense, Death Stranding's defense, I don't know how much you know about this, but do you remember that PT demo on I think it's on PlayStation 4, and it's kind of like a new Silent Hills game.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Kojima was working on that, and it was supposed to star Norman Reedus, and then Kojima had the falling out with Konami and all that, because it was going to be with Konami. They had all that falling out and stuff, and basically, you guys will probably just have to censor this normally, because on my channel, I'm not censored.
Hey, hold on, no, we gotta pause.
Alright, we're back. Brief little edit, which was like 30 minutes long, but luckily for you, it only took like 1 second. Yay! Anyway, we were kind of talking about Death Stranding, and then something happened. Later, Gator, to you, what are your thoughts on Death Stranding?
I guess it looks interesting. Like, I don't know that much about it. But I think the big reason why everybody's excited about it is because the director is like a legend in gaming.
Same. That's why everyone's excited. Not really excited for it that much.
And pretty much because it's like a big. Oh, I know where we left off. It was when I was warning you, especially you, later Gator, to you, that you're gonna have to censor what I was about to say in your video.
Okay.
Since I won't be censoring it on mine. But anyway, warning for you to put a bleep in the video. Later Gator, to you. 3, 2, 1. Death Stranding is basically a big you to Konami from Kojima, so there we go. And if you're wondering, later Gator to U's audience, what was said during that bleep, you can go watch this video at youtube.com/user/James Rolls.
And partially mine, which I'm probably gonna keep on it because it wasn't that bad.
Backslash.
Yes, backslash. But are there any other thoughts on... Actually, pretty much later Gator U needs to give, like, his full thoughts on the PlayStation conference, so how about you do that?
Well, I wasn't finished. I think I was busy in the middle of doing mine, but he can go ahead.
Yeah, Kirk was giving me get a chance to finish this.
Hey, forgive me, it's been so long.
Yeah. I mean, we had, like, a 10-15 minute break. I kind of forgot.
We're on a break!
That was like 20 minutes. That was almost... Actually, no, that was like 15 minutes. It felt like 20 or 30, though.
But yeah, really good. Whatever.
So anyway, as you were saying about the PlayStation conference?
Yeah, I kind of forgot like what all the games I kind of said and of all the games that were announced because of the long break.
Alright, I'll run through them again. God of War, Days Gone, The Last Guardian, Horizon Zero Dawn, Detroit Become Human, Resident Evil 7 plus Virtual Reality, PlayStation VR, Farpoint, which has VR, Star Wars Battlefront VR, Batman Arkham VR, Final Fantasy 15 VR, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, Crash Bandicoot Remastered, Crash Bandicoot and Skylanders, Lego Star Wars Death Stranding, and Spider-Man PS4.
Well, I know I covered the Gears of War and a little bit about the PlayStation VR. Yeah.
God of War.
God of War, geez, why I keep saying Gears of War? I know I covered that. I knew I covered the Crash Bandicoot remakes. And I think then I was talking about Death Stranding. And I'm done with that. What else? Like I said, when we were doing the Xbox conference, which I kind of messed up on because I guess part of the reason I kind of messed up because Final Fantasy 15 is also coming to Xbox One, so I mean I think that's why I probably mentioned it when we were talking about when we were still for Xbox conference. But I am excited for for the Final Fantasy 15 VR though. But despite I haven't really played a Final Fantasy game, I'm just excited because VR, Final Fantasy VR, I guess I'm saying. Pretty much almost any game that's in VR, I'm kind of excited for, really. So,
even if it's ET VR.
Yeah. I guess that'd be interesting if there was an ET VR. I highly doubt it would happen, but it could happen. But I highly doubt it. Also excited for that Horizon Dawn game. Horizon Zero Dawn. Excited for that game. Looks interesting and beautiful. Like I said, I'm kind of excited for that Detroit game with different consequences and stuff like that. Aside for the, I guess, Arkham VR, Batman Arkham VR, Star Wars VR, Star Wars Battlefront VR. Pretty much, I'm excited for VR. It's already said that already. Oh, one thing is that which I bet almost everyone thought would be at least, well, it was revealed. Those two games were revealed last year, but this year they weren't even shown at E3, which a lot of people thought would be shown at E3. Was the Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 7 remake, which didn't even show at this year's E3, which was kind of surprising that it didn't even show anything. Didn't even show anything really.
They did show Kingdom Hearts 2.8 at E3 though.
Did they?
Yeah, Square Enix had a lot of individual conference sessions for their different games, and they did show off Kingdom Hearts 2.8.
What is 2.8 really? I mean,
it's kind of like a prequel to 3.
Okay, because I know they have they have Kingdom Hearts 1.5 remakes and 2.5 remakes. So I mean, what games are on 2.8 then?
I think they have the Dream Drop Distance remade for it, but they also kind of changed the gameplay because the original version had played with both the 3DS screens, but now they're basically remaking the entire thing to only to make it play around just the one screen on PlayStation 4. And they also
is it
I don't remember what one of these games are, but I think they also announcing a Birth by Sleep continuation.
Is 2.8 on PS4?
That focuses on Aqua. It's on PlayStation 4.
I thought it was because I know the other Kingdom Hearts 2.1, 1.5, and 2.5 on PS3. So just wondering.
2.8 is on PS4.
Okay. Is it also on PS3 then, or just PS4?
I think it's an exclusive. I'm not sure if it's going to be on any other system.
Yeah, I meant the previous gen, PS3.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not going to be on PS3.
Okay. I mean, not really that excited for that much, but I'm just wondering. But yeah.
About the Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 7 remake, they had Square Enix actually came out a week or so before E3 and did outright say they wouldn't be at E3, both of those games. They would be saved for their own presentations, because I think also they showed off Kingdom Hearts 3 at a recent game show in Tokyo, so I think that's why they didn't show that one off specifically at E3. But Final Fantasy 7, I remember talking about this before, how they probably originally at this point now, wanted the first part to come out in October, so I think definitely at this point, we talked about that a long time ago it seems, but I think at this point it is logical that they're going to try to do it probably first quarter next year. So I would assume that the next time we hear about the Final Fantasy VII remake is probably going to be, oh geez, is there a major thing later this year? A major conference in Japan or something?
Well,
they might do it then, but other than that, they'll probably just have their own big live stream or something.
They do have the Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah, they'll probably do it then, if anything.
I don't know. They'll eventually get to it eventually.
I think the reason why they didn't show Kingdom Hearts 3 or Final Fantasy 7 Remake is because they wanted to focus on 15. Because that is their big game this year.
Yeah. And also another thing about Sony's conference is The Last Guardian, which took like I think 10 years or so, or plus to make, and it's actually coming out this year, October. Not really that excited for that game that much, but I mean, the thing is, they've been working on it for like 10 years, which is crazy. Cause was it originally gonna be like a PS3, like PS3, like beginning of when the PS3 started? I don't think it was quite gonna be a launch title for PS3, but around like the beginning of the PS3.
It started as a PS2 title, and then they reworked it like a year or two later for PS3, and then they couldn't do it then.
And so then they decided to make it PS4. Wow.
And honestly, by the time... it would have been a joke if they didn't announce it was coming this year, and then next E3, if they showed off another trailer for it, and then they announced like the PS5 or the PS4 Neo, I think is what their upgraded thing's gonna be called or something.
Yeah, PS4 Neo, which is like a 4K PS4 pretty much. That one's like 4K resolution and stuff.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't show or tease anything of that like Xbox did of their thing.
Yeah, because Xbox has the Xbox S and then the Scorpio. Sorry, not Scorpion. Scorpio.
So is that everything with PlayStation? Any other thoughts?
Maybe like...
Why didn't I get to say anything about it?
I guess he has you?
No, you continued your thoughts and then I completely forgot.
Okay. Your turn. There you go to you.
Alright, when they had the Horizon Zero Dawn trailer coming up, that just makes me, that game I'm really looking forward to that one because,
Same.
It kind of looks like a Zelda type of game, but with some Xenoblade elements mixed into it, not like the one on the Wii, like Xenoblade Chronicles X, because they have animals mixed with mechanical robots in that game, like fantasy and technology together. The game just looks really beautiful, and I'm really looking forward to it. And when they had the Crash Bandicoot things coming up, and they had the music and the background and everything playing, I was like, oh my god, is this happening? Is this happening?
But well, sort of, but no. Like, not a new game, but like, remakes, I guess.
Yeah, it's not a new game, but it kind of bums me out, but it's an HD remake of the original 3 Crash Bandicoot games, which makes me really excited because Crash is huge for PlayStation. There's no denying that. So it's really nice to see that they are acknowledging that he did exist at one point.
Yeah. I mean, because technically Naughty Dog don't even have the rights to Crash Bandicoot and stuff. So I think that's part of the reason though too, that because Definite Company owns it now and everything. I believe Activision owns it actually. That's
and the thing with the remakes being confirmed is that first of all, with Crash being in Skylanders, that's actually a much bigger deal than you'd initially think, because if Spyro is still in this new Skylander game, this is the first time that Spyro and Crash have appeared in a platforming game in a very, very long time. Because they had appeared in a couple of Game Boy Advance games before, but I don't think they've ever appeared in a full 3D platforming game before.
Oh yeah, I remember that Game Boy Advance game where like, I guess Crash goes to like Spyro World and like Spyro goes to like Clash and like something strange like that. I remember a Game Boy Advance game like that I used to play. Kind of forgot about that.
And this also makes me excited because even though it probably won't happen because Spyro's now Skylanders, it also makes me excited that it might open up the gates for Spyro remakes on the PlayStation 4.
I mean, that could be possible too. I mean, that'd be pretty awesome if they did that.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was literally about to ask you, what if next E3 they did sort of a similar announcement with Spyro and remastered those games for Spyro.
Well, then they decided to remaster all the PS2 classics as well for PS4, like Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank. Well, actually, Ratchet and Clank they just did the first game, but anyway, Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter. You mentioned they did all 3 of those games, and the other 2 Ratchet and Clank games for PS4. That'd be pretty sweet.